All right, I hope I got enough film time to get all this down. What I'm doing here is I'm about to showcase an entire compilation vid of some of the targeting I've been through. Now, you're gonna see me outside, and this is prior to me getting off of a bus. Now, I'm actually heading to get onto another bus. Understand the exact things of what I'm saying that I'm being targeted from before I even get on the bus. Pay attention to the colors you're gonna see because I mentioned this even before I get on the bus, so it's too telling of a video. I am still in the middle of migrating content right now too, but I'm just taking a little bit of a break. Anna, I definitely want to thank you for definitely letting me see that video, or at least warning me about that video that was on T Loke's channel. I definitely checked that out, and I did make sure to do the email and all that, so I can basically have those two channels backed up, as well as the backing up I'm doing for a brand new on a brand new tube as well. I recommend everybody to do the same, man. Like, don't let your hard work go to waste. But I wanted to show you all this because some TIs seen this before, but it was so long ago when I first recorded this. So I wanted to just show you all this again, so you'll get this the exact picture. Now understand, this is going into last year. At the time, I did not have the Yatai Nano Barrel. At the time, I didn't have some of the frequency vids that I'm using now. And at the time, I wasn't fully aware of the significance of this, that they want you to like act out. In the end, I am using my freedom of speech in this video to announce everything that happens before it happens. So when they act into it, they're basically giving themselves away, saying, yeah, basically they don't even have to say yes, they're perps, because their behavior says a whole lot more than words.
All kinds of crap, but they will never engage in a conversation with me. They won't do it. And if I ever try to have a conversation, I want to take down these lights. As you can see, blue lights flashing miraculously. Just as soon as what bus is that? No, that's not the one that I need. Oh, okay. Notice how that happens. Just so happens as I get down here. Understand, they support Agenda 21. The same thing being used to strip the freedom away from the people. You saying it's 57, sir? 57. All right. Again, they're being paid to talk about that. That's exactly what they're doing. They're being paid to do that. That's exactly.
If you're wondering what's happening, now I'm doing an explanation or an overview if you haven't already, realized it. I wanted you all to understand the process of this situation. As soon as I get on the bus, the topic of related to my targeting before I even get on the bus is mentioned. This is what's known as scripted conversation. They're told to, act out like that and talk like that on their in my presence as a desperate attempt to agitate me. Understand there are cameras on the bus, so what they want is for me to act out. What they want for me is to do something, for them to have an excuse to do something, to have a cover for it. But in reality, they're basically, you know, boosting a situation into their favor. That's basically what they're doing. They're trying to manipulate the situation into their favor as an attempt to set me up. But I wasn't afraid to speak out about what the fuck was going on. I said it as it was even before they did it, and they gave me up by them acting out on it. They just proved me right.
Exactly what this is. They are paid to do that. Just want to make sure I get a good look, get a good shot of that. Remember the street theater. Remember all the stuff that they normally do. Understand the colors.
Now you see the obviousness of that. Do you see that? But this is before I even get on the bus. I don't even have to go back because you saw the other guy all in red. The woman even next to him, literally not too far from him, in red, not just in red, but with the blue bag. You think that's all? Oh no, the bus company is involved too, and you're gonna see exactly why when I turn around.
That they wear are blue and red. The colors that they are paid to actually carry around are blue and red. They do this.
Hold on.
They're always pretty much 90% of the time be on their phone as they're doing it. They support human trafficking. They support people being laced with RFID chips.
And there you go. You see, he just so happens to have a can. And what color is that can? Oh, that's right. It's red. It's red. So they have the local bus company involved in this shit. And obviously the people on the bus were involved too. And later on, you're going to see that the bus, it's the damn bus driver. This is before the bus takes off. The driver enacts in a scripted conversation with the guy in the red shirt outside. And they're talking about the same subjects I've been mentioning on what they use as a psyop. They always basically try to label me off as a homosexual. They always fucking do that. So I want people to see this. This is a clear example of the bullshit that they're trying to that they do. They'll do this in front of you. Yes, if you don't have a lot of good surveillance equipment on you, then they will really be comfortable with being out in the open with their bullshit. Now, did they try a stunt like this yesterday? Hell no. No, because they know I am on the. I don't even have to act out anymore. I don't have to do anything. It doesn't matter because like if they act out, that's the equipment's just gonna catch it, and that's just it. But I'm gonna play the rest of this. Now he's not gonna get in. He's not gonna commence the scripted conversation. You see that he's on his phone the entire time. The entire time he is on his phone. So if you're wondering what's happening, they're relaying him orders on what to do before he does it. That's just exactly how they operate. They do this via emails, mostly encrypted emails. It's mostly encrypted emails. It could be through it could be through a text messages, but I don't think they would use text messaging because, well, like that's something you can easily look up into a phone if the device ever comes up missing. And it has happened to where T.I. has gotten in possession of a perp's phone. That has happened before. It has. And they don't like that shit because that's a lot of information that's on there that will expose that, if you're lucky enough to get in it, you would basically be able to expose their entire operation and it ain't a fucking thing they can say about it. You have all the proof that they've relayed information to instruct these people to do what they were doing. And you have evidence of everything of what they were using just to do what they, as far as their operations. Dude, I have gotten so much evidence on these idiots and they still do what they do out of some hopes of me just fucking up. And I'm just, no. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I'm going to let you guys watch the rest of this. I was thinking about doing this in a compilation, but I guess I'll just do this in parts. This will just be vid one that I'm showing you. But this one's very important, so you all will understand just some of the bullshit that they do, because this one's very telling.
They support a lot of discrediting attempts. They support a lot of this stuff. This one of my greatest fears was that children were actually being used in several different cases, and unfortunately, it was true.
You notice the red flash on the screen of her phone? That was intentional when she did that.
And I'm afraid some of them may have lost their lives due to the bullshit of this organization. This is as you can see right there. That's just coincidentally that
TIs, understand, the whole point of them doing shit like that is to get my attention. So that it gives them, they're basically manipulating and gaslighting the whole structure around me. So they have an excuse to try to say, oh, well, he's just paranoid. No, bitch. I'm the farthest thing from it. I called all that shit out even before I showed up. Now, how the fuck would I have known that they already had that shit on the bus? I don't know any of those people on that bus.
A person just so happened to be passing by in my line of sight as I'm sitting down. They got someone outside recording right now, I guarantee you. And they're gonna show that to somebody. See, you see this? That's exactly how they do this. They're not gonna say anything, but they know who they are. And I'm not afraid to fucking speak out about it. And all I'm gonna say is this: you got some shit to say? Then fine, let's go ahead and discuss it. And watch me roast the fuck out of you. Just go ahead. I'm using my right as far as freedom of speech, and I say the truth as it is. Now, they're not going to respond at all due to fear of being exposed. And in this case, when the target speaks out, the tactic they're going to use is either, oh, he's just crazy, to discredit him as mentally ill if he starts to seek out help. And pretty much that. It's also to get him to brand it as an image to look out as a crip, saying, oh, we're just doing this because he's a criminal that's just been getting away several times. They'll use that as an excuse as well. They have various different hand signs that they use. You need to understand these hand signs are basically military graded based. And what they do is, what they use these hand signs for is a form of communication. Now, here's the funny thing about that. It's one thing for a person to randomly do something like that, but if you catch the same exact thing happening when you're saying that you're being targeted and it's multiple people doing the exact same thing in several different locations, not a coincidence, but very, very obvious, then that points off as being very questionable. When you have people doing the exact same thing in several different locations, that's very questionable. When you got them saying the exact same phrases, the exact same hand signs, the exact same gestures, bringing up the exact same subject over and over and over and over again, that's very questionable. They think acting covert is not exposing them, but they're far wrong about that. You see, the more they act out, the more evidence that gives me. The more time they speak up about their bullshit, the more evidence that gives me. Now, one thing I want to say, they want to, several different lines that they want to like to say. They're saying, like, you can see them. That's a point that technically you're looking at me. I tell you to look at me? No, I didn't. When they saying, watch him, that's and watch the way he walks. That's a reference to, from them stating that they're watching me as I'm walking. Did I tell them to do that? No. Did I tell them to do that? Absolutely not. They chose to do that. They spoke out about it, so basically they're telling them themselves. I mean, if they want to think that, there you go, again. I mean, if they want to think that way, who am I to tell them not to, right? I mean, that is their logic.
Just so you all know, I actually roasted the hell out of the gang stalkers while I was on that bus. And they they didn't show emotion, but it was pissing them off. So what did they do in response to that? Oh, they did exactly what I wanted them to do. Exactly what I predicted they would do. And exactly as I called it out when it was gonna, even before it happened. The scripted conversation in regards to the same subjects I brought up. Come on now.
Like when a person wears certain types of colors, right? Right? If they want to think and talk about a subject on a daily basis 24/7, who am I not to tell them about that? Although that really does make their own mindset very questionable. But, hey, I don't judge. I don't judge. And as you can see, one of them went outside just because they're getting pissed off about it right about now. I'm gonna keep roasting the fuck out of them. You can see it because you're staring, sir. That's all that shit is. You are staring. You're trying to say.
Now, pay attention to what he did. He walked out the bus at the exact moment. And then he turns around talking to the guy saying, you know, you see he's looking. They told him to do that the entire time he's on his phone. Did I not call that out? Because I did. He's on his phone. They told him to do it, and he walks right at the entrance, saying that you see him, you see him, you see him. Even before I got on the bus, you seen the guy who was already in a red shirt. Even before I got on the bus, at the bus stop. Come on, man.
Say that shit just to try to have something on your side, but in the end, you're the one who discussing that subject. I didn't put you up to that. You're being paid to do that.
Understand, the guy was on his phone. He had a red can, but I never pointed him out. The entire time, I never fucking pointed him out. I never did. I didn't say that the bus driver was involved during the time of the making of this video that I'm showing you now. I didn't point him out, but I started to realize he was involved when I saw the can. And he made himself even more exposed when he actually walked outside towards the front door doing scripted conversation. So he exposed himself.
That's all that is. That's all that.
Unfortunately, I do talk over some of this, so I can only hope you guys will be able to make out some of the audio that's coming from them, so you'll get a genuine understanding on that, that scripted conversation. In times like this, you really would want to be quiet and then just gather the evidence, as clearly as possible. They're being somewhat loud about it, but not very loud. They're trying to make it so like the device isn't picking up the audio, but enough for me to hear it. But like if I can hear it, then so can the device.
But that is that they're just being paid to do that. But I'll tell you one thing: if I was to try to strike up a conversation to try to literally try to figure out what the hell's going on, right? They're gonna lie. They're gonna fucking lie. They're gonna play the covert tactic and play like they didn't do shit wrong. That's all that is. You see, one thing of a person who has doubt is that they always have to go to the mofo beside them to get clarification of their own bullshit, to get them to believe their own crap coming out of their mouth, even though it stinks is worse than the shit coming out of their ass. I can keep roasting people all day. I don't mind. This is a free show to me.
You see that? I didn't say shit to the dude. The entire time I didn't say shit to him. I didn't say a fucking thing. I'm going to play that again for you all to see. Understand, I called the shit out for what it was, but I didn't say shit to the bus driver only when I asked him for clarification. It's just the bus. Now, I spoke out about the scenario, but I never fucking said, during the time that I filmed that video, I never, not even once, said that he was involved directly. I knew he was, but I didn't say shit. They wanted me to try to say it, but I didn't. So it became he basically just exposed himself, exactly as I fucking predicted. Exactly as I predicted.
Now, they're not going to respond at all due to fear of being exposed.
Now then, for other people to realize something, right? Did you notice that he walked towards the front of the bus, right? And he was talking about the subject. He was talking about the subject. Then he walks back on the phone. And then as soon as I pan the camera towards the front of the bus, just so happens he's ready to actually say that. Just because I'm looking at the front of the bus does not mean that I'm looking at him. Let that be known. I mean, dude, there's like several there's like a window towards the front. There's several units and poles and shit like that, and lights, cameras and stuff up there. So how would he know? And plus, understand that there's more than one guy on that bus. So how would he actually know I was talking to him directly? I could have been talking to anybody else. And remember Remember, you seen it on the film. He was facing out the doorway. So how would he know? How would he fucking know if he's in a conversation with someone else? How would he know? Can someone just explain that? How the fuck would he know? When I'm talking out loud doesn't necessarily mean I'm talking to him. And you see, people, I want you to understand this, that the perps use that technique all the fucking time. They'll talk out loudly, right? And they'll use the scripted conversation, but because of them not saying your name and I'm talking to you directly, that's how they got a get out free card. That's why I called this shit out before it even happened.
And in this case, when the target speaks out, the tactic they're going to use is either, he's just crazy, to discredit him as mentally ill if he starts to seek out help. And pretty much that. It's also to get him to brand it as an image to look out as a Crip saying, oh, we're just doing this.
Also, how would he even know that I got the... Understand one thing, he didn't see that I had the camera going. I mean, I could be, having a voice recorder or something for all he knows. He didn't see the front of my screen. So how would he know? How would he know?
Because he's a criminal that's just been getting away several times. They'll use that as an excuse as well. They have various different hand signs that they use. You need to understand these hand signs are basically military graded based. And what they do is, what they use these hand signs for is a form of communication. Now, here's the funny thing about that. It's one thing for a person to randomly do something like that, but if you catch the same exact thing happening when you're saying that you're being targeted and it's multiple people doing the exact same thing in several different locations, not a coincidence, but very, very obvious, then that points off as being very questionable. When you have people doing the exact same thing in several different locations, that's very questionable. When you got them saying the exact same phrases, the exact same hand signs, the exact same gestures, bringing up the exact same subject over and over and over and over again, that's very questionable. They think acting covert is not exposing them, but they're far wrong about that. You see, the more they act out, the more evidence that gives me. The more time they speak up about their bullshit, the more evidence that gives me. Now, one thing I want to say, they want to, several different lines that they want to like to say. They're saying, like, you can see them. That's a point that technically you're looking at me. I tell you to look at me? No, I didn't. When they saying, watch him, that's and watch the way he walks. That's a reference to, from them stating that they're watching me as I'm walking. Did I tell them to do that? No. Did I tell them to do that? Absolutely not. They chose to do that. They spoke out about it, so basically they're telling them themselves. I mean, if they want to think that, there you go, again. I mean, if they want to think that way, who am I to tell them not to, right? I mean, that is their logic, like when a person wears certain types of colors, right? Right? If they want to think and talk about a subject on a daily basis 24/7, who am I not to tell them about that? Although that really does make their own mindset very questionable. But, hey, I don't judge. And as you can see, one of them went outside just because they're getting pissed off about it right about now. I'm going to keep roasting the fuck out of them.
Okay, so I did mention that. But here's the catch-22 about it. I said one of them went outside, but I also mentioned some people that were outside too, right? I did. How would he know that I'm basically mentioning him, though? If he wasn't... Now, I was talking somewhat loud. I was. I'll admit that part. However, that still doesn't explain his behavior what comes up next.
You can see it because You're trying to say that shit just to try to have something on your side, but in the end, you're the one who is discussing that subject. I didn't put you up to that. You're being paid to do that.
Once again,
that's all that.
The guy's facing outside. There's more than one dude on the bus. There's more. I'm not the only one on the bus. Keep that in mind.
That's all that is. That they're just being paid to do that. But I'll tell you one thing. If I was to try to strike up a conversation to try to literally try to figure out like what the hell's going on, right? They're gonna lie. They're gonna fucking lie. They're gonna play the covert tactic and play like they didn't do shit wrong. That's all that is. You see, one thing of a person who has doubt is that they always have to go to the mofo beside them to get clarification of their own bullshit, to get them to believe their own crap coming out of their mouth, even though it stinks, it's worse than the shit coming out of their ass. I can keep roasting people all day. I don't mind. This is a free show to me.
Now, you see the stunt that he pulled, and you can see it through the window. You saw the stunt that he pulled at the window, right? I'm going to show you all another video on how that's another tactic that they will use. And the next video you're going to see, the shit's too obvious. Okay? It's too obvious. The one after that, it's going to be even more obvious. But the second one from this is going to show these goons coming out of the fucking trees. Dude, they come out of the trees. They are parked themselves right at the fucking bridge into the area where I normally pass by just to go grocery shopping or to go do whatever during my daily tasks. They just so happens to just pass out of there and do a stunt like that. And why am I not surprised that they would park themselves right there, bending their asses over? People, they're paid to do that shit. Even more so, they did the shit in the fucking store too. Yes, they fucking did. I didn't question it. I just minded my own fucking business. But you see, they plant themselves in positions, right? To where you're going to get ready to turn or where you're walking to. They intentionally do this shit in your line of sight so that they can turn, they'll pull a stunt like this trying to say, well, what are you looking at me for? They will utilize a situation like that and pull a stunt like that. That's a fucking psyop. That's a damn psyop. And they know that's a fucking psyop. I don't know that guy. He's talking about 15 years. I do not fucking know that guy.
I never said anything to that guy. But as you can see, that's just what they do. That's what they like to do. They like to play these little bullshit games and stuff. But they like to just I'm just gonna keep roasting. I didn't sign up for this shit, but I'm gonna keep fucking roasting. I'm gonna keep fucking roasting all day because this shit is bullshit. They know it.
All night, since it's night, not day. Sorry.
They know what they're doing is wrong, and when you know you're wrong, you actually tend to question your own judgment. The fact that you got no confidence behind that shit shows that you yourself have absolutely no confidence in the bullshit that you're doing because you know you're doing dirt. You know you're doing wrong. That's why you always go to the side to get confirmation to believe your own bullshit. That's all it is. That's all that shit is. They go to the...
Notice when he says everybody knows. He's literally making it so fucking obvious. He's making it obvious. I've stated it before. Many of the words that they use when it comes to my targeting, everybody knows. Look at him looking. Oh, look at the way he walks. All of it is to basically, do character assassination. They're trying to label me off as a damn homosexual. They always do this shit. They've been trying this shit with nappy-headed Roots. They've been trying this shit with many other TIs as well. Sorry, buddies. But I love titties and I love pussy, okay? That's just me. I'm straight. I love women. But there's some evil shit out there. And I can't see myself dating a woman who is involved with shit like that. Not saying that I won't find me a woman at some point in time, but I don't mind finding a lady friend, but I can't in this case, I can't chance it. I just can't chance it because of the significance of how, of the danger. Dude, I don't know if my ex was involved, but let me give you a good example. I was in a sexual relation with this woman, and she snatched the condom off, okay? She snatched the condom off. Luckily for me, I had control. So I want people to understand how dangerous that is. This wasn't even the first time some weird shit happened before I was aware. Before I was aware of this bullshit, I believe they were desperately trying to honeypot me into a trap. It didn't work. All the time, and you want to know why it didn't work? Because I'm a MGTOW. I know what a thought is. I know what a setup is. I know what honeypotting is, and it didn't fucking work, and it just pissed them off because that's the easy trick. That's the easiest old trick in the book that they use on people. I didn't fall for it. So what did they do when they noticed that shit didn't? When that shit didn't work, they decided to twist the scenario up. Oh, so since he's not going for the women we're sending at him, maybe he's gay. Maybe he's this, maybe he's that. No, I'm just not interested in dating a woman who's full of shit. It's just that simple. I'm not interested in being set the fuck up. I'm not interested in having to be someone's cash fucking cow. No. Period. By the way, it doesn't mean that women are all women are just like that. There are some dudes out there that are no different too. Now, hopefully this thing is still going. Okay, good. Because that would be, man.
They know what they're doing is wrong, and when you know you're wrong, you actually tend to question your own judgment. The fact that you got no confidence behind that shit shows that you yourself have absolutely no confidence in the bullshit that you're doing because you know you're doing dirty. You know you're doing wrong. That's why you always go to the side to get confirmation to believe your own bullshit. That's all it is. That's all that shit is. They go to the side to always get confirmation because they have no confidence in themselves. It's pathetic.
One other thing, notice when he said that, he immediately sat down in his seat. Another setup. He said that shit to catch my attention, then he sat down in his seat. Everybody, this is happening, and I called it too. This is happening while someone's on the outside. Possibly that dude in the red shirt at the fucking bus stop is recording with his phone. They pulled stunts like this at my old job too. What they would do, and understand my job was maintenance, I had to clean up the floors. So what did they do in correspondence with that shit? Oh, that's right. They waited until I had to pick some shit. And by the way, they will intentionally plant shit on the fucking floor, and they will have some dude with the fucking camera on the other side of the fucking, the bins or whatever, or the racks. And since you could see through those racks, unfortunately, I had to still clean the shit up. Okay? They would occasionally steal my equipment because they know that means that if I don't have a pick stick, if I don't have a broom, then I have to lean down to pick the shit up. So they would do stunts like that, and then they would have somebody with the phone and have someone on the, one person with the phone hiding, recording, and they'll have another person intentionally bending their ass over. People. There are dudes out there who are willing to show their ass off to a guy for money. People have no self-respect anymore. They don't.
It's pathetic because if you got no confidence in what you're saying, how do you know if what you're saying is actually the complete truth or not? Which in this case is a fucking lie. In this case, this is a damn lie. I gotta tell you, I'm very grateful I became a MGTOW. I thought I would be able to find a decent woman out there, man. But let me tell you, I want to go ahead and get that. You see them bright ass lights? You see that shit? Them blue lights? I wasn't bullshitting about that. That whole fucking thing that was set up strategically for me. I wasn't bullshitting about that. You're gonna see blue, you're gonna see red. That's exactly what they do. They are told to have something blue, either clothing, an object of any kind, of anything. Understand? As I'm traveling, these colors are constantly showing. Even now, even as we turn it, you can still see that blue shit. You can still see that out in the distance. I can't make this shit up. This is just exactly what it is. That's precisely what it is. Now, again, they're told to play it off like I'm doing something wrong, but I didn't say jack shit to anybody. I'm just speaking out loud at this point. This is my evidence right here of this bullshit. I'm also going to leave a warning and a disclaimer so people who is also being targeted to this.
One thing you need to know, flashes of blue and red are known to trigger heart attacks. So, people, when you see shit like this, it's no occurrence as to this. Also, a lot of the shit when it comes to this, it has meaning behind it when they use it. The red's supposed to be a gesture towards blood sacrifice, and the blue is supposed to be a gesture towards war. Dude, to the bastards who are responsible for this, I am no fucking sacrifice for you, and I'm not taking place in this stupid game of yours. I'm not. No. The whole thing I'm doing is not playing the game. I'm not playing onto your spectacle of your bullshit. You can continue exposing yourself, and no, I still don't consent to any of this crap. But I don't play the game of their bullshit. I don't. I'm moving on from this crap. Whether they like it or not, I don't really give a damn.
Will be aware that this is in a video, because I'm not gonna fucking aid and target another person by distributing their attempts to somebody else just for them to be traumatized by their shit. I'm not doing that, man. I am grateful that I did not get married and have a woman bury my children in this type of society, because this is fucked up, man. In so many of these situations, it's fucked up. But I want to state it again. I didn't tell them to have this subject on the brain. They thought of it. They said it. They brought it out. They talked about it. Did I tell them? Did I pay them to do it? But no, they did it themselves. This is something that they talk about every day, 24 hours a day. That's all they can say, because that's all they're being paid off to say. That's all they're being paid off to do. I want to say it again. I don't deal with these mofos because I didn't put them up to this. They put themselves up to this. They do this shit 24/7 every day. Every day, this is the subject that they always talk about. Did I pay them to do it? No. Did I tell them to do it? No. But they still talk about it, right? They still talk about it. They want to try to call me out, but I mean, you're the one bringing the subject up. You're the one doing this shit as far as what you're doing. I didn't tell you to fucking do that. You did this shit yourself. I mind my own.
If you're wondering, this is prior. At the first time on the first bus I was on, I didn't say jack shit. I didn't say anything. I was quiet. It wasn't until the second bus I got on that I decided to make a rant vid in public, And I knew it would be beneficial, and sure enough, I was right. Every little fucking thing they had happened before I even got on the next bus.
Fucking business, and as proof, I mean, my evidence shows it. I didn't fuck with nobody. I was silent. I was silent the entire time. Didn't say shit. But wouldn't you know it? That shit just so happened to happen. I wonder why. I'm gonna state it again. A person who has no confidence in themselves whatsoever always has to get the confirmation from the person to the side. That's what they gotta do, because they know for a fact that what they're doing is wrong, and the subconscious tells them that what they're doing is definitely not right. You need to understand, the mind speaks an entirely different language than the brain. The mind speaks an entirely different language than the brain. What they say is not what they're thinking.
I actually pronounced that wrong. What I meant is that the mind has an entirely different language than the mouth. Meaning they could say something while at the same time thinking something entirely different. So I just wanted to give a correction out on that.
They may be acting like when I'm saying is not bothering them. But that doesn't matter because you see, I already know what I'm saying is bothering them, and that's all that matters. That's all it takes. That's all that it is. That's all that you need. That's all that you need. Now I want to point out I'm using my freedom of speech. I'm not threatening nobody. I'm not causing nobody any harm. I came in here to actually handle some on my travels, keep to myself, and that's just it. That's just it. They're gonna keep talking about it. That's all they're ever gonna do. Hey, but like I said, I don't judge. I don't judge. I didn't sign up for this, but I don't judge. If you want to talk about it 24/7, go on ahead. Just understand that that's coming from your mindset. Those are words coming out of your mouth. That's something coming from you. I didn't put you up to that. You put yourself up to that. And the more and more this shit keeps bothering you, the better and better it's getting. Because I actually love roasting the crap out of birds. Man, though.
The loud indent. You hear how his voice picked up? That's how you know it's getting to him. Having a, being told, no, you got to maintain character. You got to maintain silence. While getting roasted would piss the most irrational type of person off. So the fact that his voice is raising is proof that it's getting to him. And you're going to see just how much this shit gets to him soon enough.
Let me tell you though, like these perps are nothing but a joke, dude. They're nothing but a damn joke. In the end, it's basically nothing but a bunch of nobodies and lames who actually think that, oh, well, like maybe we get into a collaborated group and maybe we'll become cool. Bullshit. The language that they speak is completely retarded. It doesn't even, the shit that comes out of their mouth, the words that they use don't even mean what they're saying. It doesn't mean what they're saying. They just say the shit because it sounds cool. They just say the shit because it sounds cool. That's the only reason why they do that shit. They say it because it fucking sounds cool. It sounds nice. It just so happened to fit the tone of what they're speaking, but half the shit is retarded. When they fucking put the grills and shit out there, did they not buy that retarded ass shit? When they put the Jordans out there, did people not buy it? I'm not saying Jordans are a bad shoe, but I'm saying that you're being ripped off because first off, Jordans only cost like $25 a pair to make.
They cost. I want to give another correction. Not $25, but 25 cents to make a single pair of Jordans. That's how badly people are being ripped off.
And you're spending how much? Like over $100 on a pair of shoes? Someone got ripped the fuck off. Someone got ripped off. So who's the real fool here when it comes right down to that? You need to understand, they buy this crap to show it off to people because they don't have confidence within themselves. They need other people to give them that confidence and acceptance because they just want to be accepted. That's it. That's just it. That's all it ever is. They want to feel accepted because their parents didn't give them that feeling that they were supposed to. And it's been a similar situation like this for years. It's been the same shit for years, man, for everybody. I get that, but that doesn't give you the excuse to actually go around doing the bullshit that you're doing to literally try to cause grief on somebody else to gain acceptance from your peers. That's just fucked up. If you can't accept someone else, why the fuck should someone accept you? How do you figure that? But then when you work for an organization like this that's actually got its claws in so much crooked shit, I mean, you lost the ability to ask for acceptance at that point. Because you basically are working for the opposition to literally take away acceptance from everybody, you know? You take away all of that shit at that point. But this is your sense of justice, right? It doesn't matter whether you destroy a family. It doesn't matter that they gotta get up in a state of poverty. It doesn't matter whether you cost them their job. It doesn't matter whether you break a family apart and a child has to go up in foster care and be raised up with a bunch of strangers. Of who could be, who knows what, by the way, based off the background. You don't know. But it doesn't matter because by the time the next generation pops up, you won't even be around to even suffer as well as with the suffering that you've been portrayed onto them, right? This is your whole sense of justice, right? It doesn't matter as long as you're not the one end up hurting, right? You a damn fool if you convince yourself that this organization is actually going to let you have your freedom after the RFID chips get passed. You're a damn fool. And I say it loud.
Everybody understand this was way, most likely last year. This was way into last year when I made this video. So I mentioned that before the vaccinations were announced. So I was right that this shit was gonna happen. I was fucking right when I mentioned this shit. And I'm still right that these people are gonna regret what the fuck they're doing. They still keep not, thinking that now everything's gonna be a-okay. Alright. You can keep having that you can keep having that way of thinking. Go on ahead and see where that's gonna get you.
And I say it proud, it's as it is. And let me tell you why. If one thing all gang stalkers know, and I can tell because I've witnessed this. I'm not a gang stalker myself, I am a TI, but I've witnessed this through their behavior. Gang stalkers do not trust one another. They don't. They don't. There's a concentrated amount of fear that they do not show, but it's there, and it's very real. They're afraid because they're afraid of becoming the next victim of this organization. They're afraid of becoming the next targeted TI. They're afraid of becoming the next person who's pretty much going to be brought out there and have everything stripped away. But as you can see, if you would have been able to see the stunts that I pulled, I made a fool out of a lot of these bastards. I pissed a lot of them off. And I literally motorboated the crap out of a lot of the tactics that work in my field. I've outsmarted the shit out of quite a lot. And they are witnesses to this. I'm gonna continue to fucking do it too. Every obstacle that they send towards you, remember, it can be undone. Materialistic shit, fuck it. You don't have to freaking put your whole hopes and dreams in that. That can be replaced, but you can't. Don't put your faith in materialistic bullshit. That's just that's something that has no soul. You can dismantle and reassemble something like that. You can buy to get a replacement of that, but you can't buy and get a replacement of another you. You can't do that. I still would love to find myself a woman out there, but honestly, with this bullshit going on, man, you can't trust nobody out nowadays. If you do try to find yourself a woman, they just gonna fucking use her as a fucking either a gold digger or a fucking what is that called? A fucking a honeypot attempt, just to get your ass sent straight to prison. That's all they're gonna do. That's it.
And if that, I want to also elaborate on something. If they don't do any of those things and she doesn't work for them, then they're gonna just target her like they're targeting you. I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but I'm mentioning it now just for future reference.
That's precisely what they're gonna do, and that's all it's gonna be about. Now, I know one thing that even from the one thing I will never fear is death. God said it himself. Thou shalt not fear no man, period. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what the fuck comes out of your mouth. I will not be afraid of you. I will not fear you, period. You can't say or do anything to put that fear on me. It's just not gonna happen. No matter how much you want it, and you need to understand, a person who's truly afraid of you is so afraid of you that they will literally say or do anything to literally tip the balance of that fear to get you to be afraid of them, so that they don't have to be so afraid. Understand that that fear is not yours, it's theirs. The fear that they project onto you, the fear that they try to feed you. Don't buy into that bullshit. Don't. You're a lot stronger than you know. Everybody is. But unfortunately, not.
I think I should mention this before it happens. He's gonna slam. This is really pissing him off, so he's gonna slam on the brakes, and you can hear it too when it happens.
Many people have the wants to put in the effort to find that inner strength, you know. And by them not doing that, they allow themselves to be corrupted and literally just, what I like to say, absorbed into the corruption. Now, along with all of this, right? I didn't want to settle down. I didn't want to have kids and all that because I knew this organization. I had a gut feeling that something bad would happen if I did, and I was right. Looking at my situation, that's already proof enough. That's why I didn't bother settling down. There's several women that tried to make passes at me, but unfortunately, I did not fucking trust this neighborhood at all. I didn't fucking trust anybody in this goddamn neighborhood at all, and I had a good reason to. And now it play out as it is, I was damn right not to. As far as I know, no one here has any fucking authority to question my sexuality, period. Not with the shit that they're doing. Absolutely not. But they're gonna try to have that privilege regardless. I'm a straight man. I've always since been a straight man since the day I was born, and I intend to stay that way to the day that I die. That's for damn certain. I love women, but I'm not finna be. Hang on. I'm not finna turn into someone's fucking toy just for their own sick, twisted amusement. That's just not gonna fucking happen. Absolutely not. No. Period. That's not gonna happen. The other thing about this situation is that the honeypot and shit is quite a lot more mass produced than I thought. A lot more mass produced. And I honestly actually find this shit fucking hilarious, to tell you the truth, because I'm like, first off, I'm a MGTOW, so the shit with the females is not gonna be that obvious. It's not that I don't find, a woman showing me the titties or showing me the ass appealing, but it's just that, like, I have a set of rules. I don't fucking date at my job. If I'm going to work, I'm going there for money. I'm going there to make a living. There's 101 millions of places I can go to find myself a woman. Why the fuck would I want to jeopardize my own line of work for some shit like that? Knowing how fucking wrecked.
The same thing applies to females too. If you date at your job, basically you're setting yourself up to lose that job. That it works both ways. It's a situation that can either get both of the couple fired or just one person, whether it's the man or the woman.
The damn relationship statuses are nowadays when a woman can just leave a guy for another guy who has a shit ton of money. Why the fuck would I want to waste my time on some shit like that, knowing how fucked up relations are between men and women are right now? Why would I why the fuck would I even set myself up like that? That's stupid. That's retarded. Any person with enough common sense would know. But unfortunately, judging by the way that the recent generation is being raised, they don't know that better. I had the fortunate enough ability to actually meet a lot of old school folks who actually knew about.
Now, some of the people in the current generation at least have enough common sense not to, get on the bandwagon with the idiots who have been fucking up the generation over these past decades. So there are some people out there who do have some common sense, as well as the old folks who have common sense.
A lot of the bullshit out there, and they told me a thing or two. I'm damn lucky to meet the people that I have met as far as when I was growing up. Because if I hadn't, things would have been 10 times different. Even now, I'm still being gang stalked, but honestly, at this point, I'm just speaking out publicly. Actually, let me go back to the meter. As you can see, it's going up and down. As you can see, it was down to 16%, but then it boosted up to like around 50. Now they're gonna almost every bus stop, they usually swap out. They'll swap per person out after they've did their part, or when they have sent a request that they want to withdraw. Now, when they do this, they're not just doing this to me, they're doing it to any other potential target that's out there in the field that they can do this too. So when they leave one target after doing their perpetration, they're on their way to the next target. Understand that all TIs are in the billions. We outnumber these fuckers a million to 10. A lot. But they are so afraid of us that they don't want everybody to know that. They don't want TIs to band together, because they know that there's more than enough of us to overthrow this bullshit for what it is. They know this. They know this, but they would try as hard as they can to discredit that shit. They want to discredit stuff and use tactics of deflection so you will keep suffering. So you have to keep being tortured 24/7 just so they can fucking live in peace. No one's fucking living in peace, dude. The vape trails are out there. Everybody's breathing this shit in. It's in your system whether you're a Gang Stalker or a T.I. So whether you want to acknowledge that shit for what it is or not, the poison's still in you. And you really gotta think, something that's known as far as remote neural monitoring, remote manipulation. A substance like that is being shown in the people. You gotta understand, if you're wondering about the disease, like as far as AIDS, did you know that this organization actually fucking put that in the black community? That's right. It was their response, their bullshit, their fucked up scientists that actually caused this shit. It was because they engineered a bioweapon into there to intentionally eradicate the entire.
They're trying to hit my heart as I'm making this video, so this is obviously pissing them off. And I don't even give a damn that it's pissing them off.
Black community race. That's exactly what they were doing. So the Gang Stalkers, even who are working for these people today, they had them out on the hit list too. None of them were excluded from this. None of them were. They all were set there in order to basically be a part of the execution list. So with them trying to push for RFID chips, right? Explain to me where in the hell, after a stunt like that, where the fuck do you get in your head that they actually will spare you? You have to be a damn fool to believe that. And the more and more they try to deflect from the truth, the more and more they try to get acceptance from a person to the side, the only person you're lying to is yourself. That's all that it is. You're just lying to yourself so that you don't have to feel so bad about what you're doing, and you don't have to look at the truth. And the truth is, you're afraid of the truth. Man, they're so fucking afraid of the truth because they can't even handle the truth. They can't handle it. They can't. And deep down, within the inner parts of their soul, if they still have one, that is, they know it to be true. They know it to be true because of the doubt. It's written all over their face. It's written all over their behavior. It's there. It's real. You can lie to your friends. You can lie to yourself. But the truth will always be there to haunt you regardless. And it'll be there with you every day that you wake up, every time you go to sleep, every time you go out and perpetrate the way that you be doing. It will never leave you alone. It will always be stuck to you like super. That's a known fact. Why do you think they get so pissed off when someone starts telling the truth? Why do you think they target people who try to tell the truth so much? Because they're afraid of their guilt. But you see, they're gonna have to answer this for this eventually. They're gonna have to answer for that. They're gonna have to. That's apparent. Now, I want to point out that another bombshell that is proof that they do not give two shits about the Gang Stalkers that they hire off the streets, whether they know this or not. There was evidence that that got shown off of Google Maps, and the Google Maps did not have this literally logged onto their chart. And what it was a massive nuclear fallout shelter with a large list of names of global elites of high-class people. How much you want to bet that not a single damn name of the low-class citizen was on that fucking piece of paper? I would bet $1 billion and not a single fucking name, if I had $1 million to give, that not a single one of their names, or not even their family's names, that all were ever on that sheet of paper. But this is the same organization that hires people to try to encourage threats of war with other foreign and neighboring countries. This is the same fucking organization doing this. You see, they want to try to bring forth a new world order that would strip the people of their freedom. Agenda 21 is set in motion for that. That's precisely what it is. They want to portray that out. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. These Gang Stalkers who seem to be so convinced that just because they're being given these little trinkets, that little gift cards and shit, you gotta understand, these people are in mansions. $120 an hour is not shit to them. It's not shit at all. That's just the bottom damn line to it. It's not shit to them because they got more than enough money than they know what to do. Now, you want to know what's going to happen when they pass the RFID chips? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If you don't accept the chips, they're going to send you to prison. You want to know what they're going to do when they send you to prison? They're going to lace your food with nano. Guess what? You're not working, so you don't got no money to buy. You can't walk nowhere to go buy no food. You can't go to no stores. You only can accept the food that they're giving you, and knowing them, they're going to lace it with nano to force you into submission with remote door monitoring, with remote manipulation. And what that's going to do is turn you over to where you're going to have no choice but to accept the nano-based food and then eventually accept the nano chip. All of them are going to be chipped, I guarantee you, if they're not already. But it's funny because they convince themselves that just because they're being given something, it can't be taken away. Like, you have to be very stupid to think that just because they can give you something, they're not going to take it away. Crazy. They have targeted people from the inside before. You think they're not going to do it again? You're not excluded from that shit. No one is. But they still want to convince themselves that, oh, they're good, they're protected. Mind you, notice how it only takes for a person to piss someone off for them to be a target individual. How petty is that? A person so damn petty that they will literally go as far as putting you on directed energy weapons. A person so damn petty that they will have you stalked relentlessly by nearly the entire fucking community. A person so damn petty that they'll cost you a job. It will cost you your family. They'll do all this evil ass shit and laugh it off like it's something to laugh at. So it's okay for them to. So it's basically okay for them to have a family. It's okay for them to have a car. It's okay for them to have a job. It's okay for them to do this. I want to point out they are telling people to look at me even as we speak. They're telling people to stare even as we speak. That's exactly what all this shit is about. They are hired to do this. That's precisely what it is. Now I want to point out. When a person's moving around or when they get looking for their stop, they have to look at where they're going. They have to look at where they're stopping at. To tell me that I don't have the freedom to use my own body, that's a sense of control right there. So why would someone try to seize control over someone like that? You don't have no authority over where a person looks and what a person does, but as you can see, they're trying to have authority over that as it is. You don't fucking control me. You don't fucking have the privilege to do that. Period. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You can think whatever the fuck you want. I stated my piece. I said no. But the fact that a person keeps trying to portray that shit out onto me like that, that shows projection. That's not how that I may not be that way, but that's how they're trying to project their own inner self out onto someone else who they have interest towards. And this interest can either be through the fact that they're making money from that, or it can be through other means. Maybe they are like that. Maybe they are that way. But I don't judge. But they seem to love to find an excuse to have it on their brains and talk about it 24/7. Do I tell them to do it? No, absolutely not. But they want to fucking talk about it 24/7. So I mean, hey, go ahead. Talk about it to your heart's content. I mean, I don't have no time.
You know, okay, and that's all I needed to get. And that's proof that he slammed on the brakes, so you all just know. Now I'm gonna back out of this video. The next one I'm gonna show, I could have played the rest, but it's not much left else other than that. When they do stupid shit like that, it's mainly for an intimidation method. So understand this shit gets to them. It does. It really does, because you can only ignore the truth for so long. And it really starts to fuck with them because it gets them to thinking. Do you really? I mean, let's be honest here. These people are living in mansions. These people responsible for this shit are living in high class houses, and these people out on the streets are just bottom feeders, man. They're not. They're barely making anything. You think like they really are gonna be, dude? I've seen so much favoritism in this bullshit. I've seen so much. What happened when it came to the gang stalkers in related to Kanika Jenkins situation? They killed them off because they knew who was involved. They knew the extractions, they knew the exchanges that partook, and they were people who they were afraid that they could not trust, so they killed them. All within a single month. Every single person who ended up dead was all at that party. Maybe there's some who were at the party that did not end up dead. Maybe so. But it doesn't change the fact that a lot of them ended up dead. So they've killed their own. I said it before, and I shall say it again. Gang stalkers do not fucking trust one another. This includes even if they're family. They don't fucking trust one another. They could be friends. They could be acquaintances. They do not trust one another because they know. I mean, the whole, what goes around comes around. When a person is that fucking petty to put somebody on a list just because they decide they don't like them, dude, I have caught narcissists talking shit about other narcissists before. I've witnessed this. You don't think that they don't get under each other's skin from time to time? I said it once before, and I shall say it again. If it was just them, they would destroy one another. Point taken. Anyway, the next video you're going to see is me. I don't even have to go too far with this. I'm leaving my apartment. And what's happening, right? In fact, hang on. I think I can just go here and find it. Okay, so it was one of these. Was it this one?
I was raised to really give a shit about what people think.
Not that one. Not that one. Maybe it was this. No, that's the McDonald's incident. That's video footage of what those people look like. I do have audio. You would have to go all the way down to the bottom of my video list in order for you to find the audio log. But if in case you're wondering, it is on the other channel on a brand new tube as well.
It is 4,
Here it is.
5:20. It's around like between 6 and 7, like around 6:40. Just it's kind of blurry. Fix that. Awesome. Kind of messed up on the writing there, but everything else is fine. This is my rent for this month, and put it in the Dropbox here. As you can see, for rent, there is a camera up there, probably 2, that shows my location. And wow, this thing is like overstuffed. I don't like the looks of that because, okay, awesome. They need to fix that. This thing is like jam-packed. But anyway, I wanted to get that down so that I have evidence that it did pay the rent. I'm gonna head over to the, the perps already know where I'm gonna go, so I'm not even concerned about that. I wanted to say this in this other video, but I gotta try to like calm myself down when it comes to this, because it's like when they try to.
If you saw that glove, that's actually the gloves that they use at my job. So if I'm not mistaken, it could be a chance that I dropped that one, but there was an occurrence to where like someone had that intentionally, like they had a glove just like that planted in the local pharmacy down the street. It was in a very peculiar area. It was right above the the ATM. That didn't come from me. That was planted by them, meaning that was obvious that came from somebody from my job or my old job.
I gotta really use this thing to excite the crap out of you,
Now, what you're gonna see coming up next, you're gonna see people basically coming out of the trees. Now, I crossed the street to get away from them, but you're gonna see exactly why they did what they were doing. Again, it's intentional. These idiots are paid off to do stupid shit like this.
It's crazy. some of my armor is showing. Let me fix that. Wow. Seen a few other people, preaching about God. Some channels, people preaching about Yahweh. We're definitely in the spiritual warfare though today. Not just today, but this current generation and the next is going to be in a massive spiritual warfare. And it's going to be something of unlike anything we have seen before. I want all fellow TIs to understand, like, you need to be very careful and right now, because it seems like their tactics seem to be stemmed straight up towards intimidation, just to get you to do something, you know? Seems to just be stirred toward.
Now you can clearly see that guy coming out of the bushes. You can clearly see that. And oh, look at what he's wearing, a red shirt.
Where's that situation? Now, I'm keeping my distance, going over here, they're over there. So I'm minding my business onwards here. They have no reason to go over here unless, their perks, But I'm getting a lot stronger, man. I've had like so much stuff happen, but it's like I feel like Yahweh's really out there just doing it, just doing the best to keep me out of trouble and just to help me in these dark times, man. Like, seriously. Now again, those people who just sprout out of nowhere, those are perps. Now, the situation is somewhat dangerous out, supposedly dangerous. Notice how they are still sticking around now. You want to know what they're doing? It's just for it's just for attention. That's just what it is. But I got other shit to worry about. I don't have time to deal with weirdos, and that's all. That's it. That's all. So, going about my business. Also, I'm glad I caught that. Seen that a few times, and I was wondering, should I film it or not? Kind of thought about it, but nah, I didn't know. Now,
Hold on, let me
me out of trouble.
let me pause it when that show.
And just to help me in these dark times, man. Like, seriously.
Just so y'all can see what it says.
Now again, those people who just sprout out of nowhere, those are perps. Now, the situation is somewhat dangerous out, supposedly dangerous. Notice how they are still sticking around now. You want to know what they're doing? It's just for it's just for attention. That's just what it is. But I got other shit to worry about. I don't have time to deal with weirdos, and that's all. That's it. That's all. So, going about my business.
Got it. It says, you see what the billboard says? It says judgment is coming to the church. What is that? Life or live of the something.com. I don't know what that is. But if you wonder, right, like they had that shit up at the same time when they had this weird looking small bus showing up. Dude, I don't know what it was. But they had like the lights all turned off on that fucking bus and shit. It was a small one, like the ones that you would basically be transporting the senior citizens in. And I think that was a fucking fear tactic. It didn't work. I just simply, took the footage down or whatever, the current location and everything what was happening.
Also, I'm not
fast forward.
But I don't really care if a person is. I don't judge. Okay, I don't. I'm putting myself. Don't personally know any of the people here. Okay. Not a single one. I'm gonna go silent because remember, it's all about trigonometry with them. All about getting a response and all about getting you to talk.
So if you guys hear me basically like, talking too much, that's some of you already saw this. That's only because again, I'm being hit with directed energy weapons, and that's a sign of the manipulation that they use when it comes to these weapons.
And
Eh.
if I had to take a guess, I think when it comes right down to the situation, because I had asked the people at the job that I work at, right? And well, strangely enough, and why is this crap? Okay, that's sticky. I'm not grabbing that. Someone must have literally just bursted open one of these things right on the spot. Wow. What I found was as soon as I left the freaking aisle, that is just convenience that the person did that shit, right? It's as soon as I leave the aisle. As soon as I leave the aisle. As soon as I leave the aisle, a stunt like that gets pulled. Now, if that's not coincidence, I don't know what the fuck it is, okay? Again, I should not be responding, but that's just